Hello, everybody, and welcome to
Welcome.
Smeraglia Unleashed
Yes,
today.
welcome to our episode. We are so glad we are here.
We are glad.
We're glad that you guys are here.
We've got a lot to talk about today, and I'm really excited about this topic.
It's a really good one.
It's one that can be confusing
Yes.
to people, and we're going to talk about the differences between service dogs, therapy dogs, and companion dogs.
And there is a difference, a huge difference between the three.
There are, and many times we use those terms interchangeably. We don't really know. People are confused and they don't know what they want. People call here all the time.
Yeah.
And they are asking about a specific, type of companion dog, and they don't really know what they need. So today we're going to talk about those things. We're mainly going to focus on the companion dog today.
Yes.
Which is a really great one. I love the companion
That's
dogs.
the warm and fuzzy.
Yes. But before we do that, we're going to go over ways that you can stay connected with us. So Meredith, just going to share that with y'all.
Yeah, absolutely. We always want you guys to stay connected, and we will give you the tools to do so. If you will see there are several platforms that you can connect with us and really get some really cute and educational content. Each social media platform is a little bit different, but all equally enjoyable. So please join on all of those levels. Also, for the podcast in particular, if you go to our page on YouTube, of course you can subscribe and just follow along each week with all of our podcasts and any other content that is there. But we would also love for you to join. That way you can be more of an interactive partner in our podcast. That gives you benefits, and there's 3 different levels there that you can see how you can join and be a part of our podcast. But actually, if you go to our YouTube page, you click join, there will be this very handy video from Jordy explaining to you exactly how to join, what the levels are, and what the benefits are of each level. So we welcome you. We hope that you will join us.
We love that, and especially some of the benefits of the discounts at Fletch & Lowe, which is our Smeraglia boutique, which is online. And when you shop here, you can actually come in person if you are a puppy owner. So we've got a boutique here. We've also got it online. So there's lots of ways, and there's lots of fun stuff there. So that's a really great benefit. I love that.
It is.
Now we've got a real exciting surprise today because we're talking about service, therapy, and companion dogs, and there's a difference in them. And a lot of times you can't see the difference. So we're actually going to show you some. I'm excited.
Yay!
So Taylor's going to come in and
You get to
bring
see puppies.
Cute puppies.
This is fun. This is the benefit
this is what
of
it's all about.
following
We love
our
puppies. All right. All right. Hello, Taylor.
Thank you so much.
Oh my gosh, look at this sweet baby.
Look. Can you see why we are teddy bear Goldendoodles?
Yes.
Let's just call that out right at the
Teddy
beginning.
bear is what we're about. So these sweet babies are
precious.
absolutely gorgeous. Now, I have a medium-sized golden doodle, and this is Kay's green dot baby. And green dot just means the tag color that they're wearing. That's pretty much at birth. They're all assigned a tag color. But look how this baby is just, let me move this over and just lean him right into me. Look at him. How sweet he is. And who do you have?
I have Nickelly Green.
Nickelly Green.
Yes, he also is a medium golden doodle. Just beautiful babies. If you guys can see, I hope you can. I hope these eyes are showing up on the camera because they're the most beautiful,
He's
like
what
hazel
is going
color,
on?
light color, and then that chocolate nose. It's just so cute. And that's the unique thing about a lot of our dogs. They can have some of the most captivating eyes out there, and colorations. These are more classic in their coat type, but those beautiful eyes and the colorations that we offer are really, really unique and fantastic.
Yeah, and I love that he's got the chocolate. That chocolate.
I know,
nose.
a little chocolate drop.
It's so cute. He's like, what is going on? Okay, now this puppy is more just the companion puppy, just hanging out. But look, we're going to talk more about this personality and then that personality.
Yes.
A little bit more.
And to look at them and even in spending more time with them this morning, you would say, well, they just kind of act the same. I'm like, there's so many similarities, but that's where we do want to detail it out a little bit more to know what you're looking for and what sets these two apart, because they do seem to act very similar in the way they choose to engage and play, but there are some differences.
Yeah, and this little guy, he is just chilled. Now, he was not hanging out like this. I mean, he was not this laid back earlier.
No, but now he's gotten used
he's
to.
He's just hanging out with me, just chilling out. Office. And then, so yeah.
How sweet.
That's what he is. Look, he is just tuned in.
Yeah, he's very much pushing into you. Yeah, he was very, very playful, but now being loved on and held, he's in his happy place and being so content. And my little guy, you're so smart. You're going to get to stay.
This baby just wants to come, just literally melt into me.
You're so smart.
And that is part of being a companion dog, which we are going to discuss.
Yes.
But he's so cute. And these, like you said, are available puppies.
Yes, they are available. That is something, of course, that we don't always want to just tease you with cute things that you can't have. Yeah. But this is an example.
He will not take his face away from me. His little nose, he's going right into, I know the mic is right there, but look at that cute face. He's just burying himself in me. Now, I love his coat. It's loose, wavy. And yours has a little bit curlier coat.
A little bit, just a little more texture.
So there's things that we can identify, just slight differences. But overall, we actually breed them with a purpose, and that is to be companion dogs, therapy dogs, and service dogs.
Smart.
So you look like you're just ready to do the show today.
Say, I'm ready. Say, I got this. I'm so smart. Say, I'm so smart and sweet. And this, guys, could, bring your dog to work. This is a little example of what that could look and feel like.
Well, a lot of people
I'm sure you'll just sit here all day, right? Just being sweet. But anyway, we do want to always show you what we're all about. The whole reason behind Smeraglia, which then turns into things like Smeraglia Unleashed and podcasts, it all starts with these babies. Yeah. And it starts with the things that they have proven to go on and do, and really proven their temperament, this breed, because they really have gone on to do things that we could never have orchestrated ourselves. It's just stuff that they've done because of the goodness that's inside of them.
He will not let me.
And so they make us so very proud. And, we don't have to convince our clients out there that they're going to change your life or they're going to do things. You just have to have one and experience it and know and let them naturally be and do what they naturally are and what they naturally do, because it's just inside of them to be really good and to really meet a need that most people couldn't even do. So we've got special powers.
They do have special powers. So right now we could just sit and
that one's going to sleep.
Cuddle with these babies all day long, but we've got to talk about them. We got to have a conversation. We got to discuss our topic. You're very distracting. Okay, Taylor, we're going to let you take them back. But if you want to learn more about them, of course, this is K Green Dot. You can find them online on our available puppy page and Nickley Green.
Yes, available puppies, wonderful medium Goldendoodles. We'll be happy to share temperaments with you and match you to whatever puppy is right for you. You can always
call the office right now and talk to one of our adoption specialists. While we're over here doing the podcast, you can be adopting a puppy. Okay, guys, you have a great day, okay? We see you later. Okay?
Hey, buddy.
Okay, baby. So that's, just talking about a companion dog and what exactly is a companion dog. And what you just saw there were two different types of dogs, one being a companion, one being a therapy. And we're going to kind of go through the differences there today. So, you know what? So, of course, dogs have always been called man's best friend. And you can see why, right? They are amazing creatures, and they've play a vital role in our lives, you know. And actually, they've played a vital role in civilization throughout all times.
Yeah.
You know, but whenever you think about them, they make such an impact on our lives every single day. But the culture that you live in and the time or the era that you live in, dogs play different roles.
Right. They evolved too.
Yeah, they've evolved, and the needs of them and these animals have been by man's side forever. And we love the fact that their very nature is to be in tune. Like we spoke earlier in podcasts, talking about the love that's inside of them. They want to be in tune to their person, and they're very focused, and they pay attention. Did you notice how he was looking at me? He was very intent. And some are more that way than others.
Yes, they
are. And those
are.
are character traits that we have to take into consideration.
Absolutely, because temperament always rules, no matter what it is that
Yes.
you're trying to do.
And dogs are always going to meet the needs of the culture. And today's culture is different. It's a whole different world.
Well, and I think what's really fascinating about that is that, you know, you look at animals, you know, throughout the years, and most of them do meet a need, you know, whether it is for food or for protection. Most animals have like one very specific job and meet one very specific need.
Right.
What I love is that dogs are really the only animal or pet that can meet needs on so many different levels. They can do a multitude of jobs. They can transform. They can grow with, I guess, the culture, and they can adapt, and they can either be working dog or just a lap dog, or they can, you know, provide so many needs. And I think that's very unique to just the dogs.
True. And you know, as you think about culture over time, I'm sure today, you know, the world that we're living in, no matter when you were born, you think that the world that you're living in is the hardest world to live in.
Yeah.
And so we look at, you know, really many hundreds of years ago, the dog was more just like a horse or a sheep or a goat. I mean, they were companions. Many of them herded, you know, cows and did things like that. And so the people the merchants that used them, or people that were hunters or farmers and things, I'm sure they loved their dogs.
Oh, for sure.
I'm sure they've always loved their dogs, but it seems like the culture that we live in today, like dogs have elevated to such a higher status than dogs 100 years ago.
Yes.
You know?
Yeah, I mean, we have as a culture made them little humans. You
They're
know, very
like
human.
family
They
members.
are family members, and we've humanized dogs. Maybe some to a fault, but some to for goodness. And I think it's more and more because we have seen the things that they can do that just makes you fall in love with them even more.
Right. And so as a culture, we've seen that their presence is making a difference even in the families and the lifestyle. So their need and the need for companion dogs has changed over the years. And now we see what they can do. We see the benefits. We see how they can affect your life and empower you for change, how they can help you live a better life if you are dealing with certain issues, especially emotional issues.
Absolutely. And I think dogs specifically are a breed or an animal that we've tested their intelligence. We've really pushed into their intelligence and their capabilities. And then we see they continue to return with more abilities, or they're proving themselves to be able to meet those standards. And that's really, really fascinating. And it's like, okay, what else can we do? What else can they do? And I think, you know, we will just continue to.
So they can still be a great hunting dog, but now they can be a hunting companion dog. You know, a hunting
Best of both
whatever.
worlds.
Yeah,
sure.
They can do all of that. But y'all, the thing about when we say companion dog, you know, a lot of times we use the terminology to just think, oh, that's just a family pet. Now, family pets are family pets, and they are great. They're the family pet. But when we say the word companion dog, it is more like an emotional support dog or an ESA, an emotional support animal. But we're focusing on the dog. And so they're emotional support. And that's what we're going to talk about today because they are different. And we want to talk about what are the differences between a service dog, a therapy dog, and a companion / emotional support dog. And if you go to our website, you'll see actually on the very beginning of our website, it'll show 3 companion levels. And it'll say companion, service, and therapy, and you can kind of click into those. But we purposely created our website to focus on these 3 types of dogs, these 3 companionship levels, because that's what we do. We breed with a purpose here at Smeraglia. And not just to breed the dog to be a companion, service, or therapy, but then to get that dog trained to be the dog that you need and matched with you. So from the minute they're conceived, really months before they're even born, we're planning a breeding based on the temperament of their parents and everything that we have learned over the 20 plus years of being a breeder to make this puppy, to make this breeding the best breeding that we can to produce what we're looking for. And you've seen that over the years as you've been here.
And it does start way back. It starts with wonderful bloodlines. It starts with the care of the mom. It's with the care of the newborn baby because.
And everything they're exposed to.
Absolutely.
From the minute they're born.
But innately, those differences between the 3, they're there in the beginning.
Yes.
It's not like all of a sudden they just turn into this. There's something inside of them from the beginning that if it is treated and trained correctly and grown up in the right direction, then you're going to see that just flourish. And all of those characteristics are going to come out, hopefully, because they have been trained in the proper way and you get the full benefit of what that puppy was meant to do.
And you said a key word, nurture. You know, nurturing them and putting inside of them, putting that love. Of course, they're naturally animals that receive love and give love. But as they're nurtured and we are growing them along, we love by the time we get to match them to see their potential.
Yes.
And that's why so many of our puppies go all the way through our 16 weeks of school, because we know the potential they have and we want to pull that out of them. And if we put them with the wrong person or the wrong training, you know, just different schools around the country, there's just different schools of thought as far as how to train a dog. But when it comes to this breed, our Goldendoodles, our Schnoodles, and our Twoodles, we understand their just how sensitive and how tender they are. And they don't need harsh training. It all needs to be a positive experience. And we want to complete that training for them so that at the end of our 16-week program, we know that we've gotten them through those fear periods. We've gotten them through stages, developmental stages that we know they're not going to be messed up.
Right.
We don't want them messed up.
Right. And that goes back to trusting the professionals. And that doesn't matter. It's whatever industry you're dealing with, doing your proper research and then trusting the professionals in that industry is so key, because just like kids learn differently, so do dogs. And we know specifically what works best for our breeds.
Right.
And we know what can
and our
help
lines, actually,
and
down
what
to
can
ours,
what can hurt them. We
That's
know
right.
both. And so you want to lean into us as the professional so that we can partner with you to get that puppy to its full potential.
I love that. Now, we have all kinds of dogs that are service dogs, therapy dogs, and companion dogs that were bred right here, out in the world, doing their work, and they're doing phenomenal jobs. But let's just kind of talk about some of the differences, okay? A service dog. All right, now when you say that, this is a dog that, and I'm going to actually read it to make sure, it is trained to help people with disabilities, such as visual impairment, mental illnesses, seizures, disorders, diabetes, all kind of things. But these dogs are dogs that perform a service, and they can actually be looked at like a medical device.
Right.
Of course, they're a living, breathing animal, but you need this. This animal helps you actually survive.
Function
Yes,
and live,
function
yeah.
in life. But formal training is always required for a service
Oh,
dog.
yes. There are lots of qualifications for that.
Yeah, now we actually have many of them, that I'm just thinking of that are peanut detectors
Right.
and things like that. That, for someone that needed that service, I mean, that's life or death.
That
That
is.
can
That
be.
is,
So,
yeah.
I mean, they literally give people their lives back.
Right.
And save their lives.
Right. And that's why it's so important to value that category, value
Yeah.
that, and I think we're going to touch on this, but that's where it comes in. Are you using the right terminology? Do you
Right.
understand what
Right.
each one means? Because each one has its own value and definitely its own place in society.
That's absolutely right. Now, a therapy dog is a different type of dog. A therapy dog is trained to provide comfort and affection to people like in hospice, for disaster areas, retirement homes, hospitals, nursing homes, schools. But it is a pet partner. So it would be like you are partnering with your dog and you're going to a place to help better the lives of people there.
Changing morale.
Yes.
Think of it as just
Making the
changing,
world a better place.
Putting smiles on faces, lowering some anxiety, quieting some fears.
Yeah.
Just bringing that feel good.
I love that too because we have a lot of them. The requirements are different. Of course, the training level is different. But they do have to have formal training because to let a dog come into a facility, you oftentimes have to show your card that your dog has went through the training because they're letting you and your dog maybe come into the classroom or the nursing home, and they want to know that I'm not letting a dog come in here that could actually wreak havoc or be harmful to someone. Now, what I do love about our dogs is that not only can we train them? Can we help you match with them? But our dogs, when they go in, they're allergy friendly and low to non-shedding, so
Yeah.
we're not going to have that factor.
That's a definite benefit.
That is just another perk of our dogs. And, they can be facility dogs, like for homes. Like one of our dogs, we actually took to New York to be a facility dog for a women's home. And the women had children, some of them, and it was so nice to be able to take one dog there
Yeah.
that everybody got to just love
Yeah.
on. And these were people that had been through abusive situations.
lot of things, yeah.
So they just needed some unconditional love.
Yeah, and they immediately bring in just a presence of goodness.
And just a smile.
And people trust it,
Yeah.
because it is just so pure and it is so good, and so there's no walls up. People immediately trust the goodness of a dog.
That's right. So I love that. But then we're going to talk now about the companion dog, which is kind of where we're going to camp out a little bit.
Yeah.
Because we're going to talk
they're great.
next week about service and therapy.
Yes, absolutely. And I love, of course, we all love our companion
Yes.
dogs. They're our
Yes.
companions. They're
They're our
so
companions.
incredibly sweet. So, and I think, in my opinion, that, whether it's a therapy dog, a service dog, I think they all start with having
Yeah.
that wonderful level of companionship. So I think whatever you have, you definitely have a companion dog first.
Absolutely. Even pets. I mean, when they're your pet, and that's what we tell people, our dogs are one of the three: companion, service, or therapy, because everybody's a companion. Not that everybody needs emotional support and for that dog to be that way, but whether you know it or not, they're bringing that to you.
Right.
They're bringing emotional support to you.
You don't even know what they're doing for you.
So the emotional support, or the ESA animal, provides their owners with the therapeutic benefits through companionship. It's basically their presence, just being present, being alive, being there with them. There's no real formal training required or needed to be an emotional support dog, which is why you may see some that are not as well behaved, okay? But it is important that your dog is well behaved. We don't think that's acceptable.
Absolutely not. I think just because you can doesn't necessarily mean you
Right,
should. I think
right.
you definitely still need to be an upstanding citizen and do right by
Right.
those around you, but also your dog. If they're not prepared to be in those situations, don't put anyone in that situation. That's, again, because you can, doesn't mean you should.
That's right. And because you need an emotional support dog for you doesn't mean that you can let your dog just go crazy and wild.
Right.
So you need to, like she said, care about the people that are around you, because people can not allow your dog, in places, even though we're in emotional support dogs and service and
Right,
therapy dogs are
right.
allowed. If your dog is unruly,
There's there's still boundaries,
they can
obviously.
say, nope, you got to go.
You've got to go, yeah. And so then that just sets a goal that you need to work on with your dog
That's right.
if you need them with you, but make sure that you are continually working on that relationship, not just between you and your dog, but your dog and the community.
Right, because a lot of people that have emotional support dogs have a lot of things going on in their life, and maybe focusing on training their dog is not a priority, but it really needs to be. You don't want to just be self-focused on you or self-centered on you. You have to focus on your dog's well-being, and a trained dog is a happy dog.
Absolutely.
For sure.
Yeah.
But there are characteristics that make companion dogs great dogs. So there's certain things that you want to look for in your companion dog. So we're going to kind of walk through that a little bit. Of course, we told you that we breed with a purpose here. And we, as a breeder, the first thing, you've got to make sure that whoever bred your dog, wherever your dog is from, and we're not saying, like we've talked about this in the past about rescuing dogs and things like that, but when you have a dog that is going to perform a service, you really need to know what's happened in the life of that dog. You really need to know from the time that dog was born, because, to the time you had, you've taken your dog home or put your dog through training and then it came into your home, you need to know what experiences
Right.
and what your dog has been exposed to.
And that's where we talk about, if you've been listening to us from the beginning, we talk about how there can be such the two worlds of rescue and breeder can live in harmony.
Yes,
and because we do believe that each dog does have a place and a purpose, but for these types of needs, you have to have way more knowledge base, way more history than what you probably can get from a shelter or a rescue dog. Now, that can be just a dynamic companion for you, a wonderful buddy for your purebred or your, golden doodle, whatever it is. But for very specific needs, you need very specific information.
Right, and we actually do a temperament test on all of our puppies at 49 days old. That's when the window of seeing into their little temperament and what potential they have, that's when you can best identify it. Of course, those things can change as the puppy has experiences in life that change their personality. But our goal here, and any good breeder knows that we're going to nurture them all the way through to the time that they go to school and all the way home to make sure that we ensure that they are going to be the best potential candidate for you and your family. So temperament rules, guys.
Always.
Always.
You'll hear us say that so many times.
Over and over and over, temperament rules. And that's why the older a puppy is when you get them and the more training they've had, the more you can kind of see into their personality. And that's why a lot of our puppies don't go home, especially if they're going to be a service or therapy or companion dog, sometimes till they can't even start school to 8 weeks or 10 weeks. And then they stay in school for 4 months because our Super Puppy program is the first phase, and it is the prerequisite training for all service dog candidates, therapy dogs, and companion dogs. I mean, bottom line, the first 6 weeks is just manners and obedience. You've got to be able to communicate with them.
That's the basics, it's just like you wouldn't expect, your kid to start college and never go through grade school.
That's right.
It has to build on its education and really bring out those fantastic qualities.
Yeah, and so that's what makes them it starts well before you even get matched with your puppy. But the thing that you're wanting to see in a companion dog, it will be different than things that you want to see in a therapy or a service dog, just like the 2 puppies we had here today.
Yeah, surprisingly, if you were watching that, you probably would have pegged the one that Sherry was holding for maybe being a service/therapy because it just looked so sweet. It looked so calming. It looked so, but that's really not a characteristic that we are going to really hone in on if we are looking for a specific service dog in particular. That temperament as a puppy looks very different.
Yes.
What she had could be possibly a companion dog, a emotional support, but service and therapy looks different.
Yeah, it did, because my puppy that I was holding didn't seem to have the energy level that your puppy had. And that energy level is going to make the difference, because here's the thing. A service and therapy dog, they are working. They are doing things. A service dog is truly a working dog. They have to be on when they put their vest on, and they can have their vest on 8, 10, 12 hours a day. They are at work. They are doing a job. Of course, they're your companion, but more than anything, they have a job to perform. A therapy dog, same thing, but doesn't have to have as much energy.
Right.
They can be a little bit more laid back, because they're only going to go to a place, have an encounter, maybe take a ride, be there a couple of hours, come home, and then they're off work.
Right.
You know.
And I love, a dog that has a job like that has to have the drive to do it. You don't want to try to force a dog who simply is not interested in having a job or being that motivated to engage. You don't want to force that, because there are so many puppies out there that do want that, and they're very excited to do it, and that's what gives them satisfaction and joy, is doing that job.
Right.
So finding the right match there. And that's what I love about Smerallias. And I love what we do here, because a lot of people may have this beautiful vision of what they want, but they have no idea
You see that all the
how to
time.
find it. They have no idea the questions to ask or what to look for. And we have such a dynamic team that specifically knows what to look for, can bring that out in a puppy, and can really help guide you to what you need. And it kind of takes the pressure off of you of, did I get it right? Did I get it wrong?
That's right.
And training is everything. Identifying early is such a great tool to set you up and the puppy for success.
That's true.
But the continued training makes the biggest difference in the world for how this is going to go.
It really does. And if you follow us on our other social media platforms over on Facebook, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, we actually highlight 2 puppies that are in Doodle Prep School on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. And we discuss the differences between the puppies. We see the characteristics that those puppies have. We could tell you if this is going to be a service, a therapy, or a companion dog. And you wouldn't... it's hard to imagine how many people call up and just want to buy a puppy based on what they saw. And we actually will say, that's not going to be a puppy for you. That is not the best puppy. You need a puppy that's got this kind of energy, that can do this. That puppy's not going to do the job. We are not just trying to sell puppies.
Right.
We're trying to make matches with families, and a dog and a human that's going to be a great match, that's going to carry out the whole lifetime of the dog, and it's going to be successful.
Yeah,
we
it is.
want that.
Yeah, when you're able to see the vision be fulfilled,
Yes.
there is nothing more impactful than watching a relationship flourish, between a dog and a human, or a dog that can meet a need for somebody. And, seeing that is the motivation to continue doing what we do, because it is so much greater
That's true.
than just cute puppies. It's an impactful service.
It is. And when we do our temperament test on our puppies at 7 weeks old, we are looking for how calm they are, especially for companion dogs. We're looking for maybe a more laid back, calmer puppy. Whereas when we're looking for a service dog, we're looking for a more higher energy, get up, go get her puppy. But we also want to find a companion dog. When we're looking at that, there's a thing called tractability. And that's where when the puppies are all playing in their litter and they're just getting evaluated and all the puppies are there in the litter with Carol, the tester, what happens is you'll see a puppy that runs and plays, but then comes back, checks in, kind of comes up, comes to your lap, looks in your eyes, pays attention. Like they'll go play, but they're going to look back. They're tracking the person. And we are looking for that kind of devotion, because devotion in a companion dog, service dog, I mean, those two, emotional support, when someone has emotional needs and their life has been impacted and they actually need the presence of a dog, they don't need the dog to do anything other than be there.
Right.
And we need a dog that will just be there, not high energy, that just wants to go, 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 go all the time. We want a dog that's like, hey, just come hang out, sit with me, lay with me, let me hold you. And they, not every puppy wants to be held.
No, it's so
They
true.
wiggle and want to get down, and they will not let you hold them for a long time. They got things to do and places to go and toys to play with.
There's your service dog.
Yes. It's like, I cannot sit here and cuddle all day. I'm sorry.
There are things
But
to do.
you'll see us when we're talking about our puppies, when we're going live and Instagram, Facebook, and we're showing them, we'll say, this puppy will sit here for hours. That's your companion dog right there.
And
That's
so,
the one.
Yeah. We are all, I think, we're created to be relational.
Yes.
And to have companionship. And I think now so many times I go back to that trust aspect of, we tend to trust our animals more than we do the world and the people in it. And then dogs speak a universal language.
They really do.
And that is so incredible to me. They truly speak a universal language, and they meet the need for each one of us the same way. They don't change. They just are able to get to that spot in your mind or in your heart.
Yeah.
And it's pretty incredible.
Yeah, I mean, and you have to look at the dog in his life too. I mean, okay, so once the dog is about a year old, they're a more mature dog. You would not ever expect like a puppy could never be your service dog. A puppy is a service dog in training, and typically it's a year to 18 months and sometimes longer. So puppyhood is different. They're kids, they're babies, they just want to play and they're curious. And so that doesn't disqualify them from being an emotional support or companion dog. You just have to give them the time to be a puppy. And a lot of people, you've got to bond with them too. So the bonding process is very important. But with a service dog, we'll talk about this more next week, there's 3 major phases. It's like the obedience, and then there's the bonding time and the growing up time, and then there's the getting trained for the job time. And therapy dogs, they don't have as much training. They just need to have their obedience. They need to respond. They need to communicate to your commands and things like that. But a companion dog really needs to be devoted to you and really focused on you, because they've got to recognize when your mood changes. And, a puppy will learn those things, but a year-old dog, that's a younger adolescent, they're going to be more experienced, and they're going to know you. They're going to start learning things about you, identifying sadness and tears and happiness, or maybe some kind of emotional, episode that happens. And they're going to be able to know how to respond. But how do they typically respond? It's just go there.
Be there.
I'm here.
Right there with you.
I'm here for
I'm
you.
here for you, whatever you need.
Yes. And that's a great relationship that you're creating. But what I love about companion dogs, all of these type of companion dogs, but mainly the emotional support dogs, is that so many people that need them struggle with just being alone and feel like just having someone there. They just don't want to be alone. And having someone or this dog that gives unconditional love actually gives them the ability to get out into the world, to give them back their life and give them freedom.
Yeah, dogs give that life connection. We are not advocating for dogs to replace human interaction. We are created for that, and you need that. But sometimes that is the most scary thing for people, and that's the very thing that you're not comfortable with. But dogs give that life connection.
That's true.
And it can be slow and it can be subtle, but they help facilitate connections with each other. It's community. It's just love that they're able to walk you through.
I love that.
Yeah.
I mean, I do. I absolutely love that. And I love how a dog, like they say, ESA, animals, it can be any kind of animal to be an emotional support animal. But I'm just thinking, out of all the animals in the world, I just see the dog as being the most in tune with humans.
Oh, yeah.
And I know there's other animals, but when you are going through having an anxiety attack or something like that, I was saying earlier, I don't know if a turtle really is going to be able to identify that. You know, I don't know if a bunny can do that.
Maybe.
I mean, maybe, you know, a cat can do that. Miniature horses are apparently doing this
Yes.
for people. But what kind of animal? I don't know if the fish can do it. I'm just thinking like
It's
when you
whatever
start
someone has
thinking-
made up in their
Yes.
mind can do it for you. But
Right.
the dog having just the physical features that it does just brings you such a good response. It just makes you feel good, where I guess a scaly fish is not going to have the same
Yes.
effect, I wouldn't think.
They just don't have the warm fuzzies,
Right.
you know, that the dogs do. But I love the fact that a dog can ease anxiety. You know, I mean, have you ever had a dog? I mean, when you think about your dog, even if it's the family pet, how, you know, just the word pet, P-E-T, pet, means pet. Petting an animal, just petting an animal does alleviate anxiety and stress and can actually lower your blood pressure. And it is proven that just having an animal and petting an animal can actually increase your life.
Yeah.
Like you can live longer if you have an animal in your family, especially a dog. And so it's because of what they do to alleviate the stress that we have.
So the next question is, who needs a companion dog? It sounds like you're saying
Everybody. Everybody needs a companion dog. We all need a companion dog. But especially sufferers of anxiety and depression, people that are going through, now we're talking about companion today, because service, there's a whole different world of the service dog. But emotional support, these are people that need this because of the anxieties and stresses in their life. And they just need an animal that can come and bring a form of comfort and de-stress. Just alleviate the anxiety and stress that you're having. I've had that happen. I mean, my dogs will identify just a stressful day or stressful situation, and we're just talking, and maybe my husband and I are discussing something, and it's like, can you believe this? And when your mood changes and your voice and your mannerism change, do you know that they'll start going and they'll run over there and they'll start doing the why?
Yes.
And they're trying to get your attention off of this situation and onto them.
Yeah, dogs know and have the capability to reset the atmosphere. They can reset whatever is going on where they are, and it just kind of clears the air a little bit, and then you go, okay, let's redo this. Let's start over. It changes the direction of the emotion of the moment.
And you know, having them in your life, a companion dog, an emotional support dog, can actually help people get through their day. And some people just have a hard time getting through the day.
Yeah, they do.
You know, and just having the dog sometimes just gets you up out of bed.
Yeah.
I mean, there are times when people are so emotionally distraught and just maybe have lost hope. You just don't want to live life. You're going through all of these things. And it's so amazing how that dog will just come over there and just put their head and look at you like, I need to go out. I need to go. I need to do this. And so you have to remember, even though who needs an emotional support dog, it is people that have these issues. And you can actually get a prescription from your doctor if you feel, that you need one, so that your dog can go with you to places that you need to go where dogs are not allowed. You can get that, and it's and your doctor knows if you're going through things like that. But you've got to always remember, as much as you need them, they need you.
That's right.
And they are a living, breathing animal. And it is never fair, no matter what you're going through emotionally, to neglect the needs of your dog. So you do have to at least be stable enough to take care of an animal.
Yes, because you probably will never reach the level of love that they love
No.
you and the trust that they have in you.
Yes.
So yes, you have to ask yourself those questions. Can I give this animal what it needs?
That's true.
You're fully expecting it to give you what you need, but you have to return the favor to a certain level, for sure.
And so many people that we've met here just on the gotcha days when they come and adopt their puppy, which gotcha day is one of our favorite days. And it's just where you come. It's the day you get your puppy. It's a great experience, and we actually put a lot into gotcha days because it's a memory that we want you to have the rest of your life and be one of the greatest memories. And so we have this gotcha day experience. But you were sharing earlier about one of the gotcha days where you had interviewed a lady, and
Yeah.
tell that story.
It's so sweet. It's, because everybody comes with a story.
Yeah.
But some just are very, very impactful. And I love it when our clients are very open with us and are open to sharing their story. And this sweet lady came, and she was very, very excited, with a little bit of tears here and there in her eyes, but the excitement was the overarching emotion of the day. But she had recently lost her husband, and they had, before he had passed, had been talking about getting this puppy, sharing
exact puppy
yeah,
they were
sharing
picking
the
up.
process
Right.
together. So it was something that he was a part of, and then she was able to fulfill. And so that gave her just another connector to him.
Wow.
It made it still feel like it was their story and their puppy. But then also she just fully knew that this puppy was going to help her through those hard times. When you go through a life transition, especially losing a spouse after so many years, you do need that reset. Like we were talking about. You do need a new reason or a new thing to love, or something to help get your mind on something else and your attention on something. And so she was so filled with joy, even though I know there was a touch of sadness there too. I watched a puppy fill that place in her heart with joy and hope. And that is just incredibly, incredibly sweet. Even right now, my two oldest dogs, when I travel, they stay. We call them Mimi and Poppy. That's actually my sister's husband's parents. Precious people, but they had recently lost their two puppies. And so they keep mine, and I just kind of took for granted the situation, but I realized they were meeting such a need for them because he works from home, and he was very used to having that companionship throughout the day. And with mine being old, their dogs were old.
Right.
Mine are old, so it works really well. He's used to having one just sleeping at his feet while he works.
Right.
Just that little touch of presence is so life-changing for some people, and it's so comforting, and it feels like there's life, there is that relationship, there is that companionship, and they don't have to do anything but sleep.
So you don't have to have like a severe issue of depression or anxiety or all these things to need an emotional support dog. It can truly just be loneliness.
Because there's always a day and a time that all of us need that.
Yes.
There's always something that we're going to have to face in life. And again, dogs don't fix all problems and all things, but when you have the right kind of relationship with your dog, it is so helpful and so meaningful, and it's something that you can 100% count on.
And that's whenever you go to our website and you click start your application, and then you have to fill out this long application. There's so many questions that we're asking you about your energy level. How many hours will the dog be alone? How many kids are in the family? What's going on? We are asking those questions because we know that those answers are very important to making sure that you are matched with the right emotional support dog. Because just like Meemaw and Pawpaw, they would need one that's older, that's more laid back. We would never want to send a rambunctious dog.
Right. That's why
into
the young
their
one
home.
doesn't get to go.
He doesn't get
doesn't
to go.
get to go.
But it's important,
Yeah.
to have those kind of things. So just knowing that. But so it's really great. Now, qualifying for a companion dog, like if you called us up and you had to fill out your app, well, that's the first step in qualifying for any dog here at Smeraglia, or probably with any breeder. And because we're going to ask all of those questions. But to qualify for an emotional support dog, it's not like qualifying for a service dog. And those are like so different. You can just need a dog.
Right.
I just need a dog in my life. So it's kind of on the level of a pet, but companionship, emotional support is just taking that pet to the next level, because I have a real need. Loneliness, like we said, all of the other issues that we discussed are reasons to qualify, excuse me, but they're not as rigorous.
Right.
The qualifications are
Right.
not as strong. It's more, we got to make sure you can take care of the dog, and that the dog, we match you with the right dog.
Yeah, we are called, one of our first priorities is to do right by our puppies.
That's right.
And make sure that we are meeting their needs first, and then how that translates to you is very, very important to us.
And they don't need specialized training to be present, because that's just who they are. They already have that inside of them. They already want to be present with you. So there's no real special training other than what we said earlier. It's your obligation to try to teach them. They need to understand communicative feedback words. They need to be responsive. They need to be devoted to you, focused on you. They need to have that desire.
Yeah.
And then beyond that, it's up to you to take them.
Right.
But you really, to have a dog, you should plan on training them their whole life.
Yeah.
You never are not training your dog. Even when you think you're not training your dog, you're training your dog.
Yeah, every new situation is an opportunity for training.
You can even be training them to be bad.
Yeah, and not know it, but it happens.
And I didn't know if y'all knew this, but it's called the Federal Fair Housing Amendment Act, the FHAA, and it does say that with housing, even if you have an emotional support dog, that they cannot deny your dog the right to live with you, an emotional support or a service dog, but the only way that they can restrict that dog from you is that if you had a dog that was rambunctious, destructive, vandalizing, barking, dangerous to people.
Yeah.
So just know that they do have rights.
Yes.
They do have rights. But so this was great.
I know.
Just going over our companion dog.
There is so much, and I guess as you guys can tell, we're very, very passionate about what we do and the way that we do it, because we see the opportunity to get it so right, and then we understand the consequence of getting it so wrong. And there are lots of dogs out there. There are lots of people with lots of opinions. We will speak very matter-of-factly about what we know is truth and what we know about our own dogs. We can't speak to all breeds and all breeders or all dogs, but you can trust what we say about ours. And it has been years and years of just labor, of love, education, experience that we've been able to walk through that brings us to the table that we can say, we know what we're doing. We know how to advise you. We know to help you along the way, to connect you with the dog that's right for you.
That's right.
So there's comfort in that for me to be able to speak that way, but then also for you guys to know there's an outlet to get you what you need for whatever your companionship goals are.
That's absolutely true. So if you are looking for a companion dog after hearing all this and you feel like I've got to have that in my life, the first step is to go to our website and go ahead and start your application. Get that submitted. And once that application is submitted, then one of our adoption specialists will reach out to you after reading your application. They'll have recommendations of what dog in our program might be the best match for you in your situation. So we would love to be able to help you. Next week, we're going to come in and we're going to talk more about service dogs and therapy dogs.
And again, for those of you who have joined in to be an active part of our podcast, ask any questions that you may have. We will be happy to address that, to interact with you the best that we can. And that's what it's designed for you guys to fully take advantage of this time. And so if you do have questions for us next week as we continue on this topic, we'll be happy to
Send
answer
them
it.
in.
Yeah, just comment below. The guys are there. They can see it, and we'll communicate that back to us. But, whatever your relationship is with your dog and whatever your goals are for that, the design of it is to bring you joy.
Absolutely.
It is meant to be a happy connection. And to me, to you,
Yes,
I know one of the really happy things about owning a dog is getting to shop for them too.
Oh, yeah.
And
we love to shop for our dogs. And actually, if you are, subscriber to our YouTube channel, there's actually levels where you get a discount at Fletch and Lowe, which we're going to kick it on over to Taylor right now and let her show us some of the cute
some
stuff.
beautiful, seasonal products that will just really make your dog smile.
And then we're going to see you back next week after that. Bye, guys.
Well, hey you guys, I am checking back in from our super cute boutique, Fletch & Lowe. Now, last week I got to share with you guys some really cute fall products. Well, this week, I'm not only showing you some fun seasonal products, but our Halloween products. We love Halloween here at Smeraglia, and we think your dog should love it too. We have every size you could possibly need, all the way from really small to large size. So you guys, go ahead, shop our awesome Halloween products before they're gone at fletchandlowe.com. Here at Smeraglia, we launched virtual training session in 2022. Virtual training is a great option for those of you who want to do training yourself, but need the help and guidance from a professional trainer. Now, Doodle Prep School is always going to be the best option for those of you who've gotten a Smeraglia puppy and you want the best launch pad for your puppy into the new home to help with the transition. But
If you're wanting to do it yourself and go ahead and get your puppy home, you can have the help and support from the Doodle Prep School trainers available to you virtually. If you've already gotten your puppy home and they've grown up, you're wanting to add to the training for your puppy or dog, or maybe you have a special or unique circumstance like a new baby coming home, introducing a new dog in the home. Maybe you don't have a Smeraglia doodle at all, but you still want to have the help and benefit of our Doodle Prep School team of experienced dog trainers. Well, we are here for you with virtual training. Please reach out to our office or check us out online to schedule your session.